It's Adam with Frazer, and we're here to discuss extending the life of your tires. So I'm by no means an expert in this field. I'm not pretending to be, but we get asked often, our tires are wearing funny, or we have a vibration. What does Frazer recommend in order to get rid and improve the ride quality, but also to extend the life of the tires? So these typically are 17-inch wheels or 19.5-inch wheels with corresponding tires. They're expensive. They're an expensive part of the vehicle. They need to be inspected and maintained regularly in order to provide up service time on the vehicle. We don't want to go out because of a bad tire. So here's a few things that we've learned, and hopefully that you can apply them to your fleet service. So first is, you want to pick a good tire. And this is really subjective. I'm not going to tell you one brand is better than the other. I encourage you to do your own research, but spend time and do that research. Maybe ask some peers in other services what they've had luck with. Talk to some experienced fleet personnel. We've heard a couple different brands that people prefer, but again, that's a really subjective thing. I don't want to lead you down one path or another. The second thing is I'd highly recommend that you find a very experienced tire and wheel shop. So it's not always the local discount tire. It's not always Billy Bob's Garage. It could be something in between. You want to, again, do the research, pick up the phone, talk to these shops, and really gauge the sense of how much experience they have, and do they really care about what they're doing, or are they just trying to bring a vehicle in and turn it out really quick? Now, as far as the wheel and tire itself, so there's a couple things we recommend that you do. One, do an inspection on this. This should really be done daily. You're going to want to make sure that there's no obvious signs of damage to the tread or the sidewall of the tire and of the wheel assembly itself. If there is, you need to take the vehicle out of service and repair that. The other thing that you want to do that often gets overlooked is you want to make sure that the wheel is actually mounted on, the tire is mounted on the wheel correctly. So what you do is there's this little lip of the tire, and you want to make sure that's even all the way around the wheel. So the wheel when it was mounted originally, isn't offset at all. That'll definitely cause vibrations. The only way to get rid of that is to reset the tire on the wheel. The next thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you're doing regular balancing, and we recommend the Hunter road force equipment for road force matching. So this machine behind us, this is the Hunter Road Force Elite, and this is more than just balancing your tires. It's a very dynamic, smart machine. It actually tells the operator exactly what needs to be done. Very simple process. The wheel will actually be mounted, lifted up, mounted here on this assembly. This wheel swings down and actually presses a couple thousand pounds of force onto the tire assembly. It spins it, and it's simulating, the driving force, the weight of the vehicle, the driving force on the wheel. And it'll tell the operator here on this machine where the firm spot is on the sidewall of the tire. And on the wheel, these wheels are never 100% perfectly round. They look like it, but they're really not. So there's lasers on this machine that are checking the roundness of the wheel. And what it'll do, it'll say, okay, firm spot on the tire is here, low spot on the wheel is here. And you're gonna have to actually unmount using this mounting equipment over here. You're gonna have to unmount the tire, slide it over to where those line up, and now you've road force matched that wheel and tire assembly. Then you're gonna spin it and balance it, and that'll tell you where to put your 1/2 ounce, 1 ounce weights to really get it dialed in. At that point, your wheel and tire assembly has been completely road force matched and road force balanced, and that's the best way to ensure longevity of tire life and also the best ride that you can get out of it. So another daily check that you want to do is you want to check your tire pressure. So there's a decal on the inside the driver's side door jamb that tells you what your tire pressure should be set at. That should be a daily check. Most of the vehicles nowadays in the infotainment system on the dash actually tell you what your PSI is. If not, you have to do some other check where you're actually plugging something into the valve stem and reading that PSI. There's a system called Cat's Eye that might be available for the front axle. For the rear axle, we recommend the Crossfire valve stem extensions. It's more than valve stem extension. It also is a visual indicator to tell you what your PSI is set at and when you're within range. And it also equalizes the pressure between the two tires so that you're always wearing evenly. So it's important to remember that tire wear, and uneven tire wear in particular, is a symptom of some underlying conditions. So the way you determine what the root cause of that condition is by performing a front and rear axle alignment. So we perform a front and rear axle alignment at the factory before it leaves, but it's recommended that every 30 to 40,000 miles you would re-perform that front and rear alignment, and that'll help tell you, what if you've got a tire that's wearing or the vehicle's tracking one way or another. It'll help you dial in, is it something on the front, is it something on the rear that needs to be adjusted, possibly a bad component, a tie rod end or something like that, a ball joint. So make sure you're doing your alignments. Now, lastly, I'm going to ask you to actually inspect the work. So earlier in the video, we talked about making sure you find a good tire shop and getting your tires balanced. And then we just talked about alignment. So you're going to want to make sure you're actually inspecting the work that these shops are doing. So for example, if you take it to a tire shop, when it comes back, you want to look and make sure that they're not putting excessive weight. Anything over like 10 or 11 ounces of weight per wheel and tire is too much. That's a sign that there's something else going on. You want to make sure that there was no damage caused to the wheel when they were mounting the tire. And then when you do your alignment, you're going to want to ask for a report, and you're going to want to see before and after readings. And if you don't understand what those readings are, you're going to want to identify somebody in your department that can help understand what those are and what they mean. Because these reports, you can print them out and it looks good, but unless you really know what you're looking at, it can really be deceiving. So inspect the work that's being done from either your shop or the third-party shops that you guys have partnered with. All of these things combined should give you guys a better ride quality, and it should also extend the life of your tires, just driving down the overall cost of ownership. Again, tires are expensive. They're an important piece of the vehicle. You need to pay attention to them. Don't overlook them. If you have any questions about any of this content, just want to learn more about this, you can email sales@frazerbilt.com, or you can reach us toll free at 888-372-9371 and ask for any member of the sales or the service team. I hope this content was valuable, and I look forward to talking to you more. Thank you.